Hello friends, Silvia here, and today I'm going to be talking about attachment to outcomes, attachment to roles, and free will, and its relationship to you feeling joyous, peaceful, happy, and prosperous. So it's a little bit different today. If you're watching this on the replay, just let me know that you're watching it on the replay. And that way, whoops, and I've got to turn this off. Okay, I'm doing this spontaneous, and that's why you probably heard my phone. But again, if you weren't here when I very first started, today I'll be talking about the role of attachment to people, attachment to outcomes, and the joy or lack thereof, or the peace or lack thereof, or the prosperity or lack thereof that it brings. Okay, so this is a combination of a dream that I had of my father and what he taught me, to also some synchronicities that have been happening to me in the past 24 hours about attachment to outcomes. So personal things that have happened to me. So I'm going to start with my father. So my father and I were very close. I lived with my father. And by the way, if you guys want to chat and let me know where you're from here, I always love that. This is spontaneous. I didn't even announce this, but I love my father a lot. And he and I were very close because he raised me. And when he passed away, I started to have a series of dreams. And in one of my dreams, he came to me, and I was a little shocked because he was quite serious. And in actually many of the dreams I had with him, he was serious. But with me, he was, hi there from Arizona, he was always a little silly with me and joked with me and was very loving with me. But anyways, he was serious. And he said, Sylvia, you are too attached to your roles here on earth. And I was like, what do you mean, Dad? Like, in my dream, what are you talking about? He said, just remember what you're doing here on earth and don't attach yourself too tightly to your roles, because that will cause you pain. And at the time, this was, I want to say, because my father's been passed on for 27 years. And at the time, I thought, what is he talking about? Because this was 10 years ago. And what he was trying to tell me is something that I would learn in the future. And that is, when you try to apply your will about outcomes and your will about how you want things to be for your family members, for your country, for whichever, how that can cause us internal pain. So on this special day, I thought, what better day than this one? So at 4 a.m., a good friend of mine pinged me on Messenger, and of course I was sleeping, and of course I woke up. And it said something about attachments. And then throughout the day, I had a situation about attachments, and I started thinking about this very special day and the attachments that we have to outcomes. Yeah, yes, good, awesome. Okay, so David said, hi, just voted, then noticed you on YouTube. Okay, so that brings me to the attachment part. The reason why I was so attached to the outcome is because I thought that I could control the outcomes. And to some degree you can, because you have free will. But everybody has free will, and there is a bigger plan, and that's God's plan. Without getting into details or religions or anything, can we all agree that there is a bigger design, a bigger universe, a bigger source, and that we have been created? Now, I wanted to bring it close to home so I don't make it sound like this is about today's events. I had a situation where I really was against something that was about to happen. And so, of course, I stated my objection. I did everything I could to stop this from happening. And yet it turned around where that individual said to me, you're judgmental, you're controlling my life. And I'm thinking to myself, oh gosh, that's the last thing I want to do, because I understand that judgment. Can you guys even hear me? Because I don't even know if I have a microphone attached here. Because this was so spontaneous. Let me know if you could hear me. Okay, so I'm sharing that very personal experience with you because I want you to know, normally I wouldn't tell people about the personal stuff that's happening, but I think it applies directly. So even though we have the best intentions, and even though we have all of the facts stacked, and even though we have experience to back it up, sometimes the outcomes are different or there's a deviation in the plan. And if you want to be happy, regardless of what it is, attachment to a person, attachment to an outcome, attachment to a role, anything to do with your free will, the best thing to do is to open yourself up to a higher power and allow and relinquish your attachment to it so that what can happen or what should happen will happen. That's not to say that it's going to be right, but it could be a bump along the road that is going to teach you, me, everyone a lesson. So normally on a day like today, I would hide away in my home. I wouldn't state my opinion. I feel like everybody has the right to their own opinion, but I feel like I need you to know that my father told me this, my physical father who's passed on for 27 years, and also through my spiritual learning, I've learned conversations with God that when you impose your will on others, it is the greatest source of pain. So I want you to focus on the latter part, the greatest source of pain, not when you impose your will on others, because I had no feeling like God was trying to tell me, "Oh, you're bad. Don't impose your will." What God was trying to tell me and what my father was trying to tell me is if you're looking for peace, if you're looking for joy, if you're looking for prosperity and balance, it's important not to hold on too tightly to the outcome, to the people in your life that you love and you want them to do something, because by squeezing so hard, it causes you a lot of grief. And generally, it doesn't cause the other person grief, but it will cause you grief. And maybe it even causes the other person grief, or maybe it interferes with relationships that we have. And I want you to also know that I do have opinions and ideas that I think are the right way and the wrong way, but we need to override our opinions about things. We need to take action, but we need to release ourselves from the outcome, but we have to have a higher view. Why did this happen like this? Interesting. What can I learn from this? What can we learn from this? Where is this going to take us? Where do we go from here? How do we find joy from here? How do we find connection? Because remember, if you've been on my channel before, you know that the way to find God is through the beating of hearts of all living beings. That means all of us. So, yeah, that's the message I wanted to impart. I'm going to read some of the comments now. And if you have a question or a comment, please feel free to leave them. Okay, so we've got Arizona. I'm so inspired from Arizona. And then I want to make sure I got your name. I'm sorry that I don't see your name here. JVK, also from Arizona. Wow, I love Arizona too. I want to go there. Janet Adams. Hello, Sylvia. Hello from the UK. Greetings from Vienna. Oh, my heart goes out to you. I just want to tell you I love you so much, and I'm sorry for the events that are going on there. That's the thing. You know, when we hang on too tightly to our outcomes, we actually become exactly what we don't want. You know, when we think that perhaps God doesn't already have a plan for us, God does have a plan. Everything will work out. It's just a matter of how we cope with it. And let me give you a quick analogy. I'm going to go through these things. So let's just say that you're a parent, theoretically speaking, and you have your children around, and you make a plan to go on a vacation, and you have all of these stops ready for your vacation, and you know there's going to be a long drive or an airplane that's going to make people cranky, but you're going on this vacation. As a parent, you know you have to provide the water, the food, the snacks, and all that kind of stuff, and the provisions and the tickets. But sometimes the children might not know what's happening, and it might make them cranky and angry and rebellious, and they don't see the big picture. They don't see that they're going to have this wonderful trip and that you've made provisions for them. Sometimes we are like those children. And it's important that we understand that there is a bigger plan. We are tremendously loved. You are totally powerful. You are not powerless. I need you to know that. I need you to know that you are one person can change the world, okay? One person can light a candle and light up a whole room. Never forget the power of one. Also, release and relinquish your need for the attachment, for the outcomes of people, places, things, all of it, just like those children on vacation. Okay, so Matthew 6:33. Excellent. God bless you. Thank you. Hi, Sylvia. Nice meeting you. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I've been to Australia. I love Australia. And then also, I'm just live, honey. Yeah, so I'm on live here with my people and on YouTube. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't just hide away today, okay? I wanted to make sure I came to tell you this because I know that by the end of today or tomorrow or the next day, you might be feeling things. Your joy is within your hands. Your power is within your hands. Your love, your peace, your harmony is within your hands. And it means relinquishing outcomes and attachments. It means relinquishing that pain, because when we impose our wills, it causes pain. So I guess that I got my message through. Someone said life is hard. Oh, I need to address that. Hey, while we're here, is life hard? And a lot of people will say to me, they'll say, well, how do you know? You're sitting there in a chair and you don't know. Well, let me tell you, I know about it. I don't want to go into the details, but life can be hard. But if I could step through connecting with spirit, connecting with Jesus, connecting with the truth, seeking the truth, if I can do it, you can do it. But also, let's talk about reincarnation for a minute, because I get a lot of people on my posts, and this is something I notice. A lot of people on my posts will say, I never want to reincarnate again. Is reincarnation real? Why do we reincarnate? So I've got some answers for you. And because this is a live, and because I probably won't be keeping it up, I want to talk about this. Look, I don't think we have a lot of say in whether we do or not. I do think we do. I feel like, again, like we're children of a parent. So we've got an issue. Maybe it's selfishness. Maybe it's whatever it is out of the human conditions. Maybe we have compulsions, and we have to learn from those conditions. There's a good question here, and I'll answer that in a moment, Joelle. So we will come into a situation that will teach us. So a lot of people say, I didn't like my life and I want to quit. I want to tell you something. I want you to think about this really clear. In a span of billions of years, there's this little teeny slice where humanity is here. And if we looked at the past for what's in the future, we can see what's going to happen, right? You never want to think about that. You never want to think that there were dinosaurs, this, that, the other periods, and there was a human period, and perhaps we won't be the dominating. Perhaps. I didn't say for sure. Perhaps we will not be the dominating. This is a slim opportunity on a beautiful planet for you. If you're not enjoying yourself, at least what you can do is give yourself up for service. Help others. Do good things. Do those things. If you think that you're having a quote unquote, pardon my French, shitty life, then make other people's lives better. And reincarnation, or whatever God's plan is for us, it just means that we have things to learn, and we need to relinquish that need to say, I don't like this, I don't like that. I feel like sometimes we're impetuous children who are thinking that we have the audacity to say this, that, and the other. But the fact is that if we're here to learn. And since we are here, why don't we do our best? Right? And yeah, I guess learning has to do with some bad experiences. Isn't that the case? Okay, so we got a really good question here, and I want to answer questions about reincarnation too. From the Bhagavad Gita, work not for the reward, but never cease to do the work. Yeah, for sure. And by the way, I don't know about that book. I've heard of it, but what you just said, absolutely. Do good. If God has a plan for us, then our free will may be an obstacle to fulfill it. Okay, well, that's a good question from France. So, let's talk about theoretically if we were parents again. So let's say you have little kids. You have to give them a sense of autonomy. So you have a plan for them. And autonomy means that they have to feel like they have a say in things so that they can learn. But let's say you had a vacation. Again, I'm going to use the vacation thing. You have a vacation set out. Now you can have fun. You can have a bad time. You can have a good time. You can play volleyball. You can swim. You can do whatever you want on this vacation, or you can have a lousy time on the vacation and decide to not to. So yes, we do have free will within a context of God's plan for us. And I also would like to remind every single person watching right now that we live in a universe that is ginormous, and we are these little tiny things on earth, and yet we feel, and I don't think it's a bad thing, but we feel very, very, very important, as though we were the only beings in this universe, which is fine. I think it's a healthy self-esteem. However, really think about it. Do you think that, I just really want to know, don't you think that God loves galaxies, loves planets, loves us, loves the animal? Don't you think that God would be a little bit more inclusive than it's just all about us, right? And when we come to reincarnate, here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Get this. It's actually you that decide that you want to refine and learn and experience and do. It's you. So if you're not enjoying yourself, just know that you're the driver of the boat. You're the captain of the ship. The free will is all about that. Are you going to be joyful, peaceful, abundant, helpful, healthy, or are you going to be like that kid on vacation that wants to say, I don't like it, I'm not having fun, I don't want to do this, you roped me into it, wasn't what I expected? Okay, so those are just kind of silly analogies, but really, that's what it's all about. So your free will is within a context. So how will you treat people? How will you do things? Then there's another big deal. Let's go for it. Let's spearhead it all. If you read the Bible, it says the stars are inside the firmament. Yes? Okay, good. Yeah. I'm glad about that. And you know what? They're all here because God created it all, including us. Yeah, we signed up for it, exactly. Let's talk about a real spicy topic. Why don't we, okay? Let's talk about how God is forgiving, loves us, but there's a large proponent of people, and I have a guest coming on that had a near-death experience. He's coming on December the 1st. I'm recording it, and then we're going to upload it. And he visited heaven and hell in his near-death experience. And when he went to hell, he had an angel beside him. I'm not going to give it away. He had an angel beside him, and he felt protected. But he needed to see that and was told to come back and to share that experience. So I do believe God is forgiving. I don't think that there's somebody saying, you're going to hell, you're going to heaven, you're going to this. It's you again. Here's that responsibility and that accountability. It's you. It's your choice to interpret your life review as you will. That's why it's important to live the life, a good life, meaning do the best you can without struggling and imposing your will on every single thing out there and attaching yourselves to the outcome. So how do we go to hell if there is a hell? Well, imagine this. Imagine that you lived a life that was not exactly what you believed was going to be the best thing, and you had no idea that when you went there in your life review, the massive pain potentially that you caused people and situations and things. Where do you go when you feel that way? Well, how about here on earth? How about the examples that we have of the different levels of existence right here on our planet? Right here in any city that you go to, you can see one person is living one life and there's somebody on the other side of town that's living a completely different life. So why can't that be? Why do you think, I should say, there are not those levels elsewhere? So if you found out that you lived a life that was less than what you wanted, would you not be regretting it? Would you not feel sorrowful? Would you not? Those people who have near-death experiences come back and they say, oh my gosh, part of the reason why they transform and change is because they've realized that the way that they were being before is not going to work. Okay. Hi, is your guest Howard Storm? No, it's a new person who has never told a story. His experience happened 2.5 months ago, and he was going to tell it right away, and I wanted him to take a month to assimilate that experience, and he can write it down and give us some time. So I'm really happy to have him. If eyes are the mirror of a human soul, then your soul is made of. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Hades. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. David, used to believe in reincarnation, but with new knowledge found out that people who pass see babies in the womb and think they come back. Okay. So I want to talk about my father again, my great father who loved me very much, and I loved him very much, and I had the opportunity to grow up with my father. So it's not very often that people get to grow up with their dads. So I was in heaven with my sister. My sister is alive. I'm alive. I have 2 sisters, and we were up in heaven. And my one sister was over somewhere, but my eldest sister was beside me. And she's like, "Where's Dad? Where's Dad?" And I had just seen him going down into a new body. I had just witnessed him reincarnating. And I said, "Dad's gone to reincarnate." She said, "No, he isn't. He's not gone to go reincarnate." And I just witnessed it. So from my experience, having been there and seen it, I saw that. Now, does that mean that there are not multiple dimensions of existence? I think there's a lot more than what we think. I feel like one of the things that we're limited in our thinking is that we think that we're one body, one spirit, one soul. We're here, we're there, but that's not exactly how it is. And one of the ways that I know tangibly is that in my dreams, I'll be laying in my bed, yet I'm visiting other solar systems. So the fact is that you can be here and there. Now, to back it up, quantum physics has plenty of proof of that. And I'm not going to go into that at the moment, but let me tell you, it's much bigger than what you expect. And the only unifying thing that we all have is love. Okay? Love. So it's in our best interest to grow love, to be love, to share love. That is the universal conversation. That's the universal song. And the universe means one song. And that one song is love. So today and any other day, when you find yourself attached to outcomes and you're feeling pain, anger, upsetness, resentment, all the things that you can feel in a family, in a day, in a situation, in a country, I want to tell you that you can absolutely change it in a moment when you decide to make your focus love, make it understanding. If it didn't go the way that you think in your family situation, what it really is an opportunity for you to grow. I'm going to just read a couple comments. Love does really matter more than anything. Yeah, you know what? You could live this life and you can earn as much money as ever or live a great life or not a great life or whatever. But guess what? When you leave, you're bringing nothing. And it's not a sad thing. The only thing you're bringing is the amount that you loved and the amount that you were loved. So isn't it to our best interest to have that? I don't even think you can carry your memories. I did ask Spirit why I don't remember so much. I have glimpses about past lives. I said that, and they said because it would be an impediment to my now moving forward. So anything may be good or bad, but there is residual energy, and that's what is sometimes called karma. So if you find yourself in a situation, A, you have the power to be able to transform. It's about inner transformation. By the way, if any of the members here that are members on my site, I want you to know that tomorrow the course starts on how to make dreaming your superpower. That's just a side note. I just remembered I've been a bit delayed on that. Anyhow, I want to say goodbye. I want to let you know I came here impromptu. I want you to have a happy day today and every day. How do we do it? We do it by not attaching ourselves to outcomes, not attaching ourselves to our roles too tightly, and free will. Be yourself, but with the undertones and overtones and side tones of love, because that's all we got, and that's all we're leaving with. So it makes sense. If love is that valuable, it makes sense to cultivate it. Talk to you soon. Love you. Thanks for all your comments.